If you've ever had a vending machine take $2 of your dollars for a $1 item, go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button. If you've then paid the vending machine back by either getting your item out or tipping it over and taking all of the items, then you are a wizard and I respect you. Welcome back, everybody. Happy Tuesday. Welcome to another episode of Live Trading. We are about to get it done. Let's roll that intro.
Welcome to Benzinga Live Trading.
Let's see if this actually kind of comes back.
Way out of control, got way too high.
All right. Hey, I will take that. I will absolutely take that.
All right, folks. Happy Tuesday. Welcome back. Hope you all are doing well. Hopefully you had some fun here with pre-market prep. We're going to dive back into the market and figure out where we can extract some money here. Let me bring on my main man, 13. 13, how you doing today?
Good morning, everybody. I'm doing all right. Just trying to get a handle on what's happening with the SPY right now. We kind of moved back up after kind of going sideways most of the day yesterday. So just kind of get an idea of where we're probably going to be headed this morning.
Okay, my office assistant. Hello. What are you trying to do? We got a show to do, man. Okay. Anyway, office assistant not caring at all about the tasks that we have to do. Okay, let's take a look. We got to definitely have some movers here today. Some of them are actually of the ex-girlfriend variety, so we should go ahead and take a look at those. Really quickly before we get started here, the stream is sponsored by Trade the Pool. They're the best prop firm out there. Huge pool of stocks to trade and can really help you get over that 25K day trading threshold if that's what you're looking for, or get some increased buying power. Okay, office assistant, that is a little bit too much. He says hi to everybody on his way out of the office, by the way. Go ahead and check them out. They're awesome. Yes, Eddie, we have tried it. We do like it. I'm using it here today to execute trades. It's great. Give it a shot. They're also very, very helpful people on top of that. So really good stuff there. Okay, let's dive into the market. 13, let's first start out by taking a look at the SPY, as we always do. Still kind of trading in trading sideways here. I will say, I know we were joking a lot about the eclipse yesterday, which was pretty awesome. Got some decent camera shots myself.
Yeah.
But definitely low volume yesterday. I mean, I think we were 20 some million shares, maybe 20 million plus shares under the average volume yesterday. Just absolutely insane how low that volume was. So we'll see if today is any better. We'll see if people are coming back, whatever the case is. We'll see if we have some higher volume today. Now, the good news yesterday is that we were actually able to trade some of these smaller, junkier stocks before the market really slowed down. Today, we will see what the market gives us in terms of trading ability. So looking at the SPY here, we're pretty much just trading sideways. We're in this range. We haven't broke out at the top. That's 524 and change. I can't remember the exact level you have marked off on your chart there, 13. And I don't have that level marked. Downside here is going to be the bottom of this big red candle. That value is 512.76. Obviously, we've got the 50-day moving average right beneath that at 508. That 500 round number is likely to play a role. And then beneath that, we have some of the other moving averages and that big 480 number. We'll see if we end up getting down there. You got any thoughts here on the SPY? What are you looking at today? What are you kind of watching from our broader market?
Just same thing as yesterday that I was watching for, to see whether or not we can invalidate this bearish engulfing candle that we had. Now we're trading inside of it. We need, if we want to remain bullish, we need to break the upside of that, break to the upside of that candle and get above 521. We haven't been able to do that yet. As a matter of fact, we've been testing some support more frequently, the 518.30 level and the 20-day SMA. So as long as those hold up, and as long as the market gets tired once we get over 520-ish, we're going to be sideways until that CPI report comes out and we get earnings season to kick off.
Indeed. Okay. Seeing a lot of the chat members thinking the same thing we are. Anne-Marie. Good morning, Anne-Marie. Hope you are well. I know everyone was outside watching. Anne-Marie, hopefully you got to see some of the coolness there. Stick around, folks, because we are going to have Anne-Marie on after live trading concludes here at 11 a.m. So if you're looking for some advanced options trades, Anne-Marie is your gal. She'll be joining us here today. Good to see you. Bruce, Wayne, saying, awesome handle, by the way, the SPY needs to dump. Not good. Indeed. In fact, I've been waiting for a SPY pullback for a long time. The market's been like, nope, Brian, you're going to keep waiting. We're not going to give it to you yet. So still kind of waiting for that. We'll see where we end up going. Sideways area here or sideways trading here. We'll see when we inevitably break down. Jay also saying here the last few days, the overnights get sold the first half hour or so. Actually saw a chart from Christian Fromhertz, I think it was last week, showing that most of the gains the market has had have actually come in the overnight session. So it'll be interesting to see if that dynamic changes here. If we do get some gains in the overnight session, does it get sold in the first hour of the market, first half hour of the market? We shall see. Now, okay, we do have some movers here this morning. Let's go ahead and take a look at them.
Real quick, if I could just interrupt you.
Sure.
The Clark YAD is saying till rate earnings, and I just looked over at those, and that's not good.
Okay, so why don't we start there?
Let's start there. Yeah, let's
start there. Okay, so Tilray earnings here out this morning. Looks like sales missed 188 million versus the 198.5 million estimate. So it looks like we got a miss there, miss on the top and bottom line. EPS 12-cent loss versus the 7-cent estimate. Oh, excuse me. The GAAP EPS of 12 cents misses by 7 cents. Beg your pardon there. Revenue of 188. So miss on the top and bottom line. And Tilray's guidance cut sends cannabis lower. This all bad. 13. I see why you say that. All bad. Missed top and bottom line. Guidance cut. No good for the stock. Down. Guidance was awful. You said stock's down 15.5% here. Really kind of banging off that 2 level. Not looking good here.
Yeah,
not looking good here.
They cut positive adjusted free cash flow for the full fiscal year of 2024.
Yikes.
Yeah. So that's pretty bad. I mean, I don't know I haven't looked into this company to see how that's going to affect their operations, but doesn't seem like the market really likes that at all. Went all the way down to the 200-day SMA and bounced off that, trying to recapture the 20-day SMA right now.
Yeah, not a good looking chart. If we lose 2, I think maybe we probably trade down to that $1.50 level. Maybe not today, but at some point here. This does bring up an interesting point, though. CGC.
Yeah.
Jay, I believe you were shorting this yesterday, so we're going to go ahead and give you, I know you haven't closed it all out. You were kind of just scaling out. We're going to go ahead and give you a register ring because CGC down 6.3% here off the backs of those poor Tilray earnings. So good stuff. I know that you were short this. I'm thinking that you probably still are, at least a piece of it. Good stuff here today. Jay, starting the morning out with money, you got to like that on Masters Week, man. I got to imagine that you are got a pretty nice smile going on right now. That's what I would imagine. All right. D's saying weed stocks are doomed. I just think they were a little too high. Okay, we'll move on. We will move. I'm the absolute worst, 13. So we're going to go. Go ahead and move on here. Top mover of the day is going to be LASE. This is ticker LASE. And we've seen this a lot off the relative volume scanner. This is not a new issue for us. Can't remember the last time this ran, but I feel like it was relative. Yeah, it was back in here. Okay. March 21st, and looks like we got a pop the next day, and that really dropped and didn't come back. Interesting here. Laser Photonics shares trading higher after the company announced it had secured an order for its laser tower compact making and engraving system from L3 Harris Technologies. Okay. Marking and engraving. So like, I understand why you'd use this. This doesn't really seem like huge news that should be driving a stock 150%. What am I missing here, 13?
So one of the interesting things about this is that they actually have delayed their earning report filing for Q4 and the fiscal year 2023. That's pulled the stock down, recently. So I think that this news and that happening of the stock being lower already is helping it lift higher than it normally would. That's what I'm seeing here with this. It does have a 3.46 million share float, no reverse splits, no high short interest. I think it's just a matter of it's been beaten up a little bit on the delayed filing, and now that they've secured an order, it's suddenly moving up 150%.
Okay. Volume here, pretty impressive. On average, trades about 450,000 today, 24 million. If we zoom in here to the sideways trading or this consolidation area that we're doing, I'm going to go ahead and mark this off before we change. Mark off this area right here, and then also that high right about 386. So I got 339 to 386. We'll see if LASE breaks out of that range, gives us any type of back test and a potential trade setup there. By the way, VWAP here at 298. So a ways to go down to the VWAP if we do start breaking down. Okay, let's go to the next one here. This is going to be ACRV. This is Archivan. I'm pronouncing that right. Archivan. I don't know how to pronounce that correctly, but in any case, ticker ACRV up 76% here today. They're trading higher. The company announced 130 million private placement offering. So what do you make of this one here? Looks like we're doing a really good job holding above 10. We're actually pushing away from the VWAP here, going for a full dollar. Those pre-market highs, 11.05. We're not far from those 13. What do you make of this?
I want to say that I think they just had some other news, regarding a drug or something that they are working on, and now they just need this money to bring it to market. I think it's something along those lines. Don't quote me on that. I'm not 100% sure. But the private placement, I think this is just raising cash for their the next stage in whatever it is they're working on.
Precision Prometics AP3 platform internally discovered. Yeah, I'm just looking through the former news here to see if we can get it. They did present at TD Cowen's conference, and then I also saw that there was what was that? Where did I see that there? Lost it. Oh, excuse me. Wainwright has a $20 price target on this. BMO Capital, $18 price target. JPM, $14 price target. JPM actually has this rated as a market outperform with that $14 price target. We'll see if that is in play here today. In any case, ACRV, this making a pretty decent move here today. We'll see if 11 gets taken out here. Okay. All right. We'll keep moving through. Got a couple more here we need to get to. MYMD. This is MYMD Pharmaceuticals. I feel like we've traded this one before, but maybe I'm mixing this up with MindMed. I suppose that's possible here. Yeah. Ticker MYMD here. I don't see any fresh news. Do you got anything that I might be missing here? And we had some Form 8 enhances governments and financing structure. This came out after the close yesterday.
Yeah, so this is
agree to sell convertible preferred stock and warrants. Okay.
If you look at the news today at 8:21, it tells you the reason why it's going higher. It's they announced a new amendment to the securities purchase agreement with preferred shareholders. So it's just a little bit of back end restructuring, making things so that they can continue operations, not get not make those preferred shareholders mad and have to create an issue where the company has to stop what they're doing and appease them. It's just trying to keep business going as usual. They have 2 million share float. They did a 1-for-30 reverse split back in February on the 15th, and other than that, that's the only thing I see that it's moving on is that they're just basically getting that preferred shareholder situation handled.
Okay, well, here we go. We actually popped above 4. We're doing a fairly decent job holding above this 3 area, maybe 320. Yeah, 320 we'll call. I'll go ahead and mark this one off too. Mark right here, and then also mark right in here. We'll see if this ends up breaking that 60-cent range. VWAP here right at 354. Volume in the pre-market here pretty decent, but it's kind of fallen off. We'll see what happens when the market actually opens here. Okay, next is going to be RVSN. I know the chat's popping off with this one because the ex-girlfriends are back. LASE and RVSN, they're coming for you, Joe. They are coming for you.
I'm not here.
I'm not here. Rail Vision Catalyst. Rail Vision shares trading higher after the company announced it secured an order for its AI-powered switchyard system. I don't even know what that is, but it's AI-powered, so giddy up. From Class 1 freight rail company in North America. Okay, so we've got a PR here about a order for one of their products, and it has AI in it. So we got a lot of stars lining up here. Rail Vision popped as high as 210, came all the way back in towards 175. Looks like we're trying to curl up towards 2 and break through 2. Not sure if we've got the strength to do that here. I'm going to again do the exact same thing. We're going to mark off this little area. Got 176 to 197, so that 21-cent area in there. We'll see which direction this falls. What are you thinking here on Rail Vision? I know you're not here, but you got to tell me what you think about it.
Yeah, sure. So there's a theme around rail in general that I'm keeping a close eye on, and it has to do with potential strikes in the ports on the East Coast. So if that happens, then you're going to see a lot of the shipping that's supposed to go to the ports on the East Coast and down in the Gulf of Mexico. Those are going to end up coming to the Pacific ports, at which point they'll have to make some of those shipments take the trains and rail systems to go to the east for distribution. So I could see this should be on your radar for as well as a whole bunch of other rail stocks for that theme potentially playing out later on this year when they're expected to potentially strike. It has to do with contract renewals between the labor unions and the maritime authority over in that region. So just something to keep an eye on. It's not relevant to today, but it's just something that I think should be on everybody's radar, and keep this one handy in case we do get something like that. It could move with it.
I like that bit of context, even if it isn't factoring into today's move. That context still important. Good DD13. You really outdo yourself with that. Let's keep moving down the list.
I have my moments.
Not many of them, but you do have
not many.
That was a quote from Star Wars that I thought for sure you were going to get, but I digress. Okay, next one here is going to be PFRX. This is pain reform. Stock's $1.92. We actually had a news catalyst here that drove it above 3. Let's take a look at this. Looks like we gave you an exclusive here. So 8:30 this morning, a whole bunch of news about some of its, I guess, treatments here. Tells Benzinga announces results from new studies demonstrating the superior in vitro release rates of one of its drugs here for post-surgical pain management. Looks like we got this exclusive story a half an hour before the PR actually came out. Now, the disappointing thing here, obviously, in the pre-market is that this has almost completely round-tripped. Not completely, was about $1.74, still maintaining about 10% higher here, just under 20 cents. But this was a huge move earlier. Now, the big thing here is that, as you can see, it got bought right after that initial exclusive got bought, and it really kind of got sold into. The disappointing news here is that the PR itself that came out really didn't drive this thing. We'll see if there's a bit of a delayed reaction. Maybe this actually happens in the regular session. So we'll go have to see that. Or we'll go have to see that. Is not even English. We will see if that ends up happening. I'm sorry. I was trying to read another comment while I was trying to finish my current comment. That didn't work all that well. Kingdom Lamb asking, do you have to have an upgraded version of TradeStation to see the pre-market charts? I don't know if you're referring to Benzinga Pro or your broker TradeStation. I have no idea about TradeStation, but if you meant TradingView, the answer is no. The licensed copy that comes with Benzinga Pro still has the shading in here. Gold represents pre-market, blue or navy represents after hours. So depends on what you mean there. I don't think that you need that. Rustam, we will get to PBM here in just a sec. Let me finish off the list that we got. Good morning. Good to see you. Okay, so that was PFRX. I think this actually shifted position with LIFW, another ex-girlfriend here. This had a huge run yesterday. Congrats to everybody that hit this one out of the park yesterday. Looks like we're gearing here a little bit in the pre-market, although the volume not really impressive at all here this morning. Good news about that is that we actually didn't really have impressive pre-market volume yesterday and still had impressive regular session volume along with this run that was tradable for our group here. So perhaps we get another similar setup here. Couple of mile markers, if you will, that I would watch on the move here. First one's going to be the VWAP, right? Can we get above the VWAP? Can we do it on volume? Can we really kind of make a push here? Got that value at 179. Next high here, 199. We might as well call that too. The round numbers really seem to come into play here on LIFW. You got anything else on this one?
No, I wasn't really watching this one this morning. This one to start. I guess it hasn't really moved enough for me to really pay attention to it. It's up 12%? Is that what? Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. It was a mid sip of tea there, up 12.1% here. We'll see. It was up more earlier, to be fair,
Yeah.
but has really kind of traded back in.
No,
So
sorry.
we'll
This one's not on my radar, but don't.
no apologies.
Probably keep it on there
necessary.
just in case it has movement today, for sure.
Okay. Also, a WebCoin regarding that pain management PFRX stock that we just talked about. Pain drugs don't usually make good catalysts. Interesting. I'm not. I appreciate this mention here. That's not something that I normally think about. Maybe I should. Maybe I should start thinking about that. Appreciate that insight, WebCoin. Good morning. Great to see you. Okay, let me take a look here. We covered all of the main ones. I really quickly want to mention a few things. ANGH. This is a Angami. Oh, we've traded this one before. Not sure if it gets going here today. We already talked about PFRX. The other thing to mention here, MDIA. This did have a pop. It's really kind of bled back. This has recently been on the radar, so keep this one at least on the radar. Doesn't look great here out of the gate. Okay, morning, Miles. Great to see you. Good morning.
And morning, Swede.
And morning, Swede. Even though he said it's the afternoon, but good morning. Okay, couple of things that we want to check on here. First of all, some of the swings that we were talking about, Accenture being one of them that we have not found entry at yet. This still trading along that 200-day, but technically we actually got to close beneath that 200-day yesterday, so we did not initiate a entry on this. We will keep watching Accenture and see if this provides entry here today. None yet. One of the other swings that we were talking about here is McDonald's. This broke down beneath its 500-day. So far, it has continued to break down. Now, this is interesting because from a chart perspective, when it regains the 500 here, like it did the last time it broke beneath this, actually spent a month under that 500-day. But when it regained it, we actually had a really good run here. So McDonald's, another one for a potential technical trade here to keep on your radar. We'll see what MCD does. Again, no entry, no position on that just yet. Now, the one we did take entry on yesterday is ticker PWP, Perella Weinberg Partners. Looks like shares are trading higher after JPM Securities maintained a market outperform rating on the stock and raised its price target from 18 to 22. Okay, so looks like we had some pretty good timing yesterday as we get a price target re-rating here today. We'll see if that drives that higher. One of the things that I noticed is that yesterday, in the after hours, looks like there was some type of fat finger trade in here. This thing, I don't think that you actually could have made any money on this. They probably would have broke your trade, but it does. Hey, we do have a candle that almost took us up to 25. So again, the thesis here is that we're going to follow in some of these corrupt politicians. We'll see if that ends up working out. As I mentioned when I took this, still high risk because we don't have another catalyst here. I'm actually not even sure what this company does. I should probably get on doing that here today. Yesterday really got out of hand in terms of workload. So, okay, enough rambling for me. We are almost going to open here. We are under a minute until we open. I'm going to flip over to the main workspace. We're going to check out the scanner, and then as soon as the market opens and we have targets, we're going to flip over to trade the pool and actually execute. So good luck, folks, here today. Great to have everybody back. I'm in a great mood. Let's get it.
Yeah, what are we looking at initially? I mean, I'm setting levels for LASE and MYMD.
Yeah, I think the first one here that I'm going to look for is going to be LASE, right? I guess my gut feeling is that one's the strongest. We'll see if I'm right here. I want that to pull back.
It just broke out of that consolidation that we were looking at.
Yeah,
earlier.
It sure did. Damn, it sure did. So let's see if we actually get a back test of that here. I'm going to mark this stuff off on my chart. All right, we are open, folks. Good luck.
4 is a big deal. There it goes.
There it goes. So LASE right through. I have no position. Just to be, oops, what's happened with my cattle chart here? So just to be clear here, no position for me. I was looking for a possible back test, but that's running away. What? I'm sorry, 13. What's going on?
It's just ripping right now. It's the next level I have is 460. This thing is ripping.
Yeah, it sure is. So LASE, right, or great move out of the gate.
Yeah,
great move out of the gate. Jane, good morning. Zinger Buddy handprint. Let's go. Love it. LASE was my trade earlier. LASE maybe the move is done pre-market. It's possible that this might be the exhaustion move. We'll see here. on LASE. PFRX, this is the one we had the exclusive. Happy to see this not breaking down out of the gate. Maybe we do get a curl back. That VWAP 33 cents above where it is right now. So for a potential scalp trade, that would work if this ends up going here.
ACRV lower out of the gate.
Did you say ACRV?
ACRV, yeah. Sorry,
Okay.
I may have said E, but yeah, ACRV.
Yeah, I'll just making sure I heard you correctly. VVOS, this actually traded down to 3 and is bouncing. 350's got your VWAP. We'll see if it gets up there. Keep an eye on VVOS. Here is your ACRV. That rejected from the VWAP and moving away. That was a good one here. LASE coming back in, by the way. You think this has got another move higher in LASE? Because we're kind of coming back. I've got that to here. Let me flip over to trade the pool. We've done enough of this. Here we go. Bang, bang. Skynet's taking over in 13's living room. Okay, here we go. So LASE, this is actually kind of coming back in. It didn't come to that 386 that we really wanted it to, however. Stopped just short of that. I'm going to keep flipping around because I'm not in a hurry to buy this. Wiss saying, got in LASE 209. I have no idea when to take profits. Wiss, I cannot advise you, but I would get on that because you're up over 100% at this point. Okay, RVSN being mentioned by multiple chatters here. Let's see where we're at. This popping, going for those highs, looking at like it's flirting with the $2 level right here. They did bring in a huge bid that's getting whacked.
Yeah,
whacked. Oh my God, the battle.
I'd like to see that
lower we
212 get breach and then have it run up to 280.
Lower we go first here though.
That's fine. I can do whatever it
yeah,
wants.
Jonathan Cooper saying Rail Vision here, 100K buy order that got soaked up like it wasn't even there.
MYMD lower. I think the support could be at 305 to $3.
Yeah, that's actually a decent. But you know what? We're going to mark all these off 13. We're going to mark them all off.
LASE's still holding. Hasn't broken down yet. Just kind of holding the 425 area.
Here's your LASE trade. So that did bounce. When that came back in, it did bounce. And I didn't quite go to 386 there. So I'm not sure how great my entry would have been on this one, but that is working.
If ACRV doesn't reverse here like it looks like it's trying to, I think that it might find some better support down at 850.
Okay, so let's mark that level too while we're on this chart here. 850, we've got that right. Oh, you went from 851 to 849, and okay, we're just gonna have to go with 851 because the it's not letting me go there exactly.
Okay,
there we go.
All right, Rail Vision made new highs from the pre-market. It's at 220 is the current intraday high. I'd like to see 280 on that one.
Okay, let me flip back over to Rail Vision. No trades yet for me. 13, you bought anything yet?
I traded, which one did I trade? I think I traded LASE.
LASE right out of the gate there?
I'll tell you in just a second exactly which one I traded. I've been putting up a whole bunch of different tickers on my screen. I know I traded one briefly.
Rail Vision here right at the top end of that pre-market range. Let's see if this is going to end up going here. 213's that spot. We already traded above that. Okay, we were rejected again here. 222, the intraday high on Rail Vision. We'll see if that ends up falling.
It was VVOS that I traded.
VVOS. Let's take a look at that.
It had a pop out of the gate, so I captured a bit of that.
Yeah, rejected right at the VWAP, by the way, VVOS. Really need to get above that here to start moving here. PBM, Rustan, I did not forget about you. Let me make sure I'm getting the ticker right here. PBM. Okay, Rustam, there is nothing going on here. This, I think I just saw a tumbleweed blow by actually on the chart here. Absolutely crazy. This thing's doing nothing. Daily chart looks a little bit rough under that 20-day moving average here. Don't really see anything going on. This has been in the same range for the last couple of days.
It's Morse
coding.
Man. Yeah, when it Morse codes like that, you know, it's probably not going to move like you're looking for. Like some of these other ones are moving where we're capturing the momentum. Sally, good morning.
Sally, good morning. Let's take a look at some of the bigger stocks here. I know I haven't spent a lot of time on them here today because a lot of the stuff that was moving was actually lower price stocks here. But Jay bringing up a really good point. NVIDIA here, out of the gate selling off. Now, what's interesting is that this is exactly what we did yesterday. Yeah, we bounced a little bit, but we actually resolved lower. I'm wondering here if we're going to have the same thing. Jay mentioning that the gap up got sold again. So we're seeing a new pattern here in NVIDIA. I think you also mentioned SMCI. Let's see if the same pattern is going on there. Yes, it is. So selling off out of the gate. Now, we haven't pierced yesterday's intraday low yet on SMCI. Maybe you get a little bit of a accelerated selling if that does happen. We've got that value down here right about 902, currently at 916. So
Lassie trying to push here. Trying to push into the 430s.
There we go. Crow mentioning root. Let me take a look at that. So Crow, okay. One up for Crow, because yesterday he literally told us right in here
the entry
that we're getting our entry. We didn't take it, and here we are. Let's see, Crow, how much you had? I'm going to call this 76.75. Okay, I don't know if that was the exact number. Let's call it 70. We are 6 points higher today. This stock just absolutely crazy. This was a good call, Crow. I didn't take it, but damn, bro, good call.
MYMD.
Good morning.
MYMD went all the way down to that 305, $3 area and found support. Looking for it now to retake, let's say 320, 325.
Now if we break down here, we might be able to short this, right? Because we kind of came back to this level. We kind of already pierced that.
If you get a breakdown from here, because it does look like it might try to put in a bear flag. So if it does break down from here, the next support that I have is down around 275 to 280.
Okay, 314 is the spot. We're literally straddling the spot here. So if we
Real
took
Vision wants to go. Sorry.
No, it's all good. It's all good. I know there's a lot going on here. I'm only going to be able to flip around so much. Eddie's asking for Trade the Pool, how do you see how much stock you're buying, dollar amount? Do you guys have experience with it? So no, I am always like, okay, so here we go on MYMD. I'm gonna try some of this right here. I'm gonna try some of this right here. Did I take too much of it? No. Okay, let's see if we end up breaking. We trade back up. Let me get a stop on here because not sure if we break down. I want to see if we just break this low and kind of snap right through it. That would be great. Let me keep answering this question here, Eddie. Oh, am I going to get squeezed out of this? Maybe. We don't want to let this thing's a little bit thin. I don't necessarily want this to get out of control. I'm going to keep my eye on it. So when I'm buying these, I have it just for stock, right? I don't have the dollar amount, like the total dollar amount. This is a good question though for them. Let me go ahead and screen cap this. Looks like you guys are mentioning RVSN, huh?
It's trying to. I mean, it's getting up to 227. The upside target I have is 280, but this needs a little bit more volume. It's just not really. There's something in between my target and where it's at now that's holding it back. I see a lot of size at 240. That could be it. But I don't know what's holding it down from breaking out. LASE looks like it's trying to join Timmy in the well. It's starting to go down.
Oh my goodness, 13. Okay, let me really quickly take a look here at RVSN. I'm going to come back to this because, again, I don't really want that MYMD to get away from me here. RVSN did break above that 213. It's actually back testing it here. Let's see if we push away from here. MDIA also getting mentioned. Let me check on that real quick. Looks like that's pushing away from the VWAP here. Good stuff, MDIA.
475 next upside target.
Staying strong here indeed.
Which is also the is that after hours or pre-market? Looks like it's pre-market. High was 475. So I'd be looking for that number.
ACRV having trouble getting back to that VWAP, at least so far. Let's see what's going on MYMD here. We're getting out of control. No, it's still figuring out which way it wants to go. Just don't want to be. I feel like I might be shaking. Let me check on Pro what the stats are in this one. Sorry, MYMD. This is what I mean. It's not my wheelhouse shorting $3 stocks. Not what I normally do. We did get what looks to be a bit of a setup here, though, so we took it here. Float 2 million shares, and I average this thing trades 43,000 shares. Trades 7 million today. Yikes. Okay, so this might be a little thin. We get a pop here. Might have to really kind of get out of the way.
It looks like LASE found some support around the 360 area from that morning consolidation before the breakout. That would be the level of support that it's going to, it would have to fall through. And if it does, I'd look for a continued support at 245.
Jay, what about Eddie's question? I answered it to the best of my ability, my man. I told you I did not have experience with exactly what he's looking for. I'm not going to BS you. Okay, if MYMD goes through this 317 area, we're going to stop out of this. There it goes, and we're out. So 0 for 1 here today on that short. See if that sets up here. I really don't want that thing to get crazy here. And we do have lots of action. You're right, Carm. You're right. So we'll go ahead and flip around to some of the other ones. RVSN, wow, straight up rejected and to pull through that 213 level and through VWAP. Doesn't even look like it's firming up here.
Yeah, a lot of those things that we were talking about this morning are starting to head down.
Jonathan, thank you for answering the question for our community. Love you guys. You can edit the trade the pool position panel to show the total dollar amount of the stock. There you go. Awesome, Jonathan. Awesome. Jay, if you knew the question, why weren't you answering? What is that all about? While you're talking dogs, check out Chewy. Man, had an issue with Chewy. Love to see this though. I do like this company. It had an issue with their shipment and not telling me what's going on. Shipment was late. Cat ran out of food. Had to go out and get. Long story short, everything's fine. Love the company. Love to see this happen. But man, the stock has been a dog. Big move here out of the gate.
LIFW, the one you were talking about earlier, sold off out of the gate, found support at the 200 EMA on the 5 minute, and it's turning back around. So
there you go. We'll see if we can get through the VWAP right here.
Yeah. MDIA had some selling down to the VWAP. It looks like it's trying to recover though.
ACRV trying to bottom here. We'll see if this moves back to VWAP. Got VWAP at 981 on ACRV. This thing's spread pretty good right now.
MDIA looking pretty good. Trying to push up to, I think it's going to try to push up to 475.
Nice move away from that VWAP too. Looks like it back tested that too, didn't it?
It did. Yeah.
Yeah, it went through it, back tested. Oh, that was great. That was great. Did that actually that lined up with this too pretty good on the upside. All right, MDIA. This one decent so far.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of decent, look at what's going on in Tesla. I actually just glanced over here and saw some calls getting bought, although not terribly huge. Yeah, that's not all that big. But look at this move. What's
Forgiven,
up?
Crow. That's awesome news. Thanks for that heads up.
To 90-40. Yeah, I appreciate that. So Jeffrey's raising that price. They're a little late on that one, aren't they? Price target was at 40. A little late here. By the way, look at Tesla. First move out of the gate here was giving up the pre-market gains, and now we've bouncing and gone higher here. Tesla still continuing to try and push higher here. See if 174.50 ends up getting tagged. Apple also higher here out of the gate. So 13, we're not getting our Apple levels. Not today anyway.
Someday. Look at it's being mentioned by WIS. LIFW is pushing up, trying to make its way through this consolidation in the pre-market. It's doing a really good job too. All right, what are you going to give us here, MDIA? This thing's whipping around.
Ooh, more Tesla calls getting bought. There's actually multiple. Okay, so this is interesting.
What is the robotaxi actually looking like it's
I
going to
don't
happen?
know if this has anything to do with robotaxi, but just to kind of read these to you, let me see if I can give you some of the stats on these unusual options. Looks like the 419 and the 412 expiry, so that's going to be this week and next week. Looks like we had sweeps of the 182.5 to 175 and the 180s. that is coming from the unusual option algorithm in Benzinga Pro. So looks like Tesla's having some types of call sweeps pushing it higher here. It is trading higher on those call sweeps. That's interesting. Those just came across. I'll keep watching that and let you know if I see any more here. And I wanted to, we didn't get to this one, but this DXYZ that you folks mentioned yesterday, this thing's been wild. This thing was up near $130, well, 122, I beg your pardon, 122 in the pre-market. And it's down here at 88. This thing makes some big moves for one of these ETFs. I appreciate you guys mentioning this yesterday. I haven't traded it yet, though.
Kevin saying that coin is moving down. Well, we had Bitcoin. It's much lower today than it was yesterday, right? I mean, that's part of the reason.
Yeah, 70,000. Yeah, 70,800 on the futures. I think 13. We were up around 73K or maybe even above it yesterday. So yeah, 3,000 point move.
Okay.
And real quick here, I know I brought up Reddit. We'll talk about this here in a sec. Martin, this is it. This is it. I think it's our show, and we help out when we know something. One community. Yes, sir. Yes, this is the ethos that we're going for here. Love it, Martin. Absolutely love it.
MDIA with the big knife.
Reddit is trying to trade off this 46 level. I don't know if I trust it. MDIA, the knife that you were, here it is, 13, right to and through that VWAP.
Yeah, it's going to try to, I think it might try to find some support around the 380 level if it doesn't reverse soon.
Here's LASE, by the way, coming back in. So this came into VWAP here. I've got VWAP at 363. Remember that range that we marked off, top side of that range, 386. So we're actually still above that as well. Flirting with the $4 level here. Looks like Jay Summers out here getting his 10 cents from LASE over and over again. We'll give you that.
He's nickel and diamond, but mostly diamond.
EKS doing a great job giving you our market breadth here. It looks like 3-1 on the advancers to decliners. Sally helping out here with some news catalysts. Morgan Stanley mentioning Tesla at overweight with a 310 price target today. Let me pull up the Tesla news here. We'll give that, and I'll go ahead and read that to you here. Indeed, exactly as Sally said here, maintaining overweight rating on Tesla, maintaining the 310 price target. Seems like that's a defense of Tesla's recent sell-off.
Real Vision
over 100 points from here, 140 points from here. Let me go to RVSN.
Yeah, it's trying to get going here.
Above that 213 level. Let's see if we pop and move here. What do we have the high at here today? High 227.
Yep. Looks like we're trying to get some seller orders to pile in here. We got some bids at 210.
Jane, love hearing this too. We're going to give a 1 up for this one. Thank you all, not just us on the screen here, but all of you in this community. Thank you again. My trading is nice and consistent after finding this room. It's because we focus on a process. We don't promise you Lamborghinis. That is the difference. That is
I gave up that
difference. Oh man, looking at the scanner here, I actually see a lot of penny stocks on here. Don't see how did MYMD? This kept moving lower. Look at this, dude. It did shake me out of it.
Low, that one's lower. ACRV lower. PFRX sideways. Vivo's lower.
ACRV potential bounce spot at 850 if we get down there.
RVSN is looking like the one that's going to make the new intraday highs.
Yeah, here we go. Let's see. Did we take this off? 230's got some size here on the ladder. Yeah. See what else is moving out there. Bitcoin coming in now as we speak. Actually, some elevated volume as well. How are some of the Bitcoin stocks doing? Mara actually, it's lower here, but it's not really breaking down. How's Coin doing? Coin, big red candle here. This looking worse.
LIFW moved through that consolidation in the pre-market. It's trying to go higher now. The pre-market high is 199.
There you go. Good stuff there. MSGM appearing on the relative volume scanner here. MSGM. Looks like a nice little kind of a staircase up here above that VWAP.
Yeah, it's a good point, Miles. MDIA is trying to find some support around the 380 area.
MDIA here lost the VWAP. So I had that at 403 here. Really want to see a reclaim here on the back end of this move.
Looks like it's moving up right now. Or trying to anyway.
Tesla continuing to try and push higher here as well. Tesla holding its strength here. RVSN.
Yeah, it's getting pretty close to the intraday high.
Indeed.
That 240 level. That's that one it's got to get through after it gets over 230. It just has a lot of sellers there at 240. Looks like MDIA wants to try to return at least a VWAP. LIFW still hanging out above the consolidation from pre-market. LASE, it's hanging in there. It's below my VWAP, but it's still hanging above that or around that 380 level.
Let me bring that up here. LASE may be another bounce if we get down to the VWAP here.
Looks like MDIA is trying to recover. It's making its way back up to VWAP.
Jonathan saying his scanner has run dry. God, you know what? We've seen that. We've seen that happen early the last few days. We'll see if we get that again. BSGM here. This is on that scanner. This trading up here. We'll see what happens at this intraday high. This is not spread hardly at all right now. And it's going for that high here. A little bit of size there. I'm not sure what to make of this. Feels like this one already ran.
Yeah, and we're going to likely see lower volumes of trading up until we start to get the CPI and earnings coming out. And that starts tomorrow. So should see some better trading tomorrow. They'll definitely improve later on this week. They're just in a kind of a news blackout cycle. Companies really can't talk about earnings until they release them.
BSGM, we're at a spot right here. This is a potential. This is yesterday's intraday high. So we either reject right here or we go higher. It's trying to hold out right here. Spread going for anywhere between 2 to 7 cents. See if this really starts to gear here. Volume is growing. That continues to expand. We get a volume pop here. This is actually going to look like a pretty good volume expansion move. No position on this one. No position on this one for me. Just kind of watching it, BSGM.
Jonathan's right. That SPY is sinking pretty fast.
Sure is.
I mean,
the Dow as well. Real quickly, SPY and Dow leading the way to the downside here. The NASDAQ so far holding up.
And it's interesting too because the Mag 7 are not responsible for this pull down here.
We took a look at NVIDIA earlier. Okay, so these are lower, but they're holding in. They're not actively moving lower. To your point there.
Yeah, I was just looking at the watch list of all those stocks, and really the only ones that are down are Netflix and NVIDIA, and they're only down about 0.5%. Everything else is up. So
Tilray here. This actually looking like it might be taking the next leg lower here. Oops, I meant to do CGC, not CG here. CGC, this down, but not continuing to break down. How did BSGM resolve? That went higher. That did break and go higher here, BSGM. If you were in this one, this is definitely a time to scale here. You got a nice, huge move here. We talk all the time with the process about paying yourself on the way up, making sure you don't give back money that you've made here. BSGM, definitely a spot to scale. Might this get halted here? Is that what we're...
Yeah, I did. It is.
Yep, BSGM halted to the upside here, 196. At least I got that mention to scale in there first.
If this has more upside,
time this guy out.
If this has any more upside in and out of the halt, I'd be looking at 225 for a possible turnaround.
Okay.
Because we just made that stock just made new 2024 highs.
RVSN trying to move off this 213 here. I got size at 229 and 230. 230 is that intraday high. So that's the next spot here, RVSN. Parker's Thinkorswim indicators mentioning PTCI. I got to try to remember that. PTCI. DJT here. We watched this sell off all day yesterday. Sold off out of the open here. Now red to green move off that bottom. 35.50, that downside spot. Russ is asking Ryan, are those Bayer Dynamic headphones? Yes, sir, they are. Not only are they the Bayer Dynamics, they are the 990 Pro 250 ohm. So if you're going to go with these, you do need to have some type of sound card that can really drive them. They are excellent. One of my favorite headphone sets that I've had in my entire life, Russ. Highly recommend. Good eye, by the way. Really good eye.
Game recognized game.
Ha, that's true. LASE breaking down from that 386 here, looking like we're going to try and break down from the VWAP. Potential bounce spot here on LASE.
Rail Vision new intraday highs at 230 now. Still looks like it could go higher, but we'll see. I mean, it's putting in some pretty long wicks on the top. That's never really that good.
LIFW trying to go higher here. 185, that spot on LIFW. Here is that RVSN chart that 13 was mentioning.
Yeah.
ACRV being mentioned.
We're getting LASE starting to break down a little bit here. I think that consolidation from the pre-market is providing a demand zone. So if that holds up, we could see it retest VWAP. But if not, then we're probably going down to about 250.
Okay. Looking around here. Vink, this is a former one that we've traded. Look at, yikes. Oh, man, this thing, did this have an offering or something yesterday? It's really sold off in the after hours, taking another leg down here today. This is another one that we have traded here. Trading lower after the company presented preliminary phase 1 data.
Oh, must not have been good.
Yeah, it must not have been good. So we've traded this one before. When we were trading this, we were talking about it being a day trading vehicle. Here's the risk that you run. We talk about some of the good side on some of these biotechs that get bought out and pop and run and go crazy and all that. Here's the downside. There's always another side to that coin.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jay, you're exactly right. And this is one of the reasons why they are day trades only. This is why we focus so much on it. I don't trade any of these percent gainers, but it seems like yesterday's winners are the losers and vice versa. Indeed. And we'll say sometimes you'll get multiple day runs out of this, but a lot of times they'll just kind of flip. I'm not a huge fan of holding them overnight.
ACRV is starting to get going here. It's trying to take out some of this consolidation from pre-market at around 950.
To kind of hammer off Jay's point here, EKS, I'm glad that you were mentioning this here. AUUD, this was a huge runner yesterday. I actually traded this for a gain. So did you, I think. I think we both hit AUUD yesterday here. Mine down 15% here today. This was one of the big runners yesterday. Definitely a big loser here today. Remember, if you get gains in any of these percent gainers, pay yourself. Pay yourself. Yeah, you guys are mentioning the PWP. I did see that. Look, here's the thing. This candle, this spike, this is intriguing because we've got, corrupt Congress people in the stock and all of that. I totally get it. What I will say here is that let's say you had a limit order for 100 shares to sell yesterday at 23.50. I don't know that would have gotten filled. I think we're seeing this candle here, but I can't tell you for sure if that would have gotten filled. There's also a chance that trade gets broken if it was an accident. So just whenever you see these big bars on super low volume, take it with a grain of salt. Maybe you would have gotten filled on there, but there's a chance that you wouldn't have, even if you were sitting on the offer. Nonetheless, good to see this higher here today. Good to see some more interest in this swing rocking right out of the gate. We'll take it.
Looks like
BSGM has resumed.
There we go. And this is about where it's supposed to pop to and come back in. So we'll see if it can, do that.
Taking a look across the broader market here, Netflix, which actually sold off yesterday, doing another leg down here today. We'll see if Netflix really kind of comes back in. Next support level I've got here for Netflix, likely the 617 area. Only 6 points away. Apple, we already checked in on that here. This actually rerunning for those highs. Let's see if Apple sets new intraday highs here today.
BSGM.
ACRV reclaimed the VWAP. Sorry, 13. Let me go to BSGM.
Pushed higher through that 225 resistance. Got to 240. Now let's see if 225 can be support. Rail Vision is really coming in. Vivo's on its way down still. PRFX, that's just been going mostly sideways. I mean, we had a pop out of the gate, came back in, went sideways, like how it was in pre-market. I don't know about this one. It's probably going to be one of those where it just goes sideways for a good period of time and then suddenly chooses a direction. With
Sorry, just handling something here real quick.
No worries. No worries at all. So BSGM, next upside target I have is 280. It's almost there. 10 cents away. 5 cents away. Let me set some more levels on this if we break through. Swede's mentioning DTSS. I'll take a look at that. I think BSGM is about to get 280.
Let me readjust my focus here. Sorry about that. DTSS. That's actually one we've pulled up here quite a bit.
Yeah, a nice pop there.
Yeah, sure did. Cattle. This is another one showing Jay's point. This was a huge runner for 2 days and has now really started to come back down to earth, let's call it. So cattle here moving lower. Again, this moved lower yesterday too, by the way.
Wow. Bitcoin under 70K.
Yep. Well, actually, just temporarily. Futures still have it at 70,190, although we did breach it earlier, 13. Looks like we might be testing that low to go lower here, to your point. Crow saying, in my opinion, LASE fades all day. Okay, so maybe. Let's see what happens if we break this 341. I'll tell you what, if we bounce back to this VWAP and get rejected there, might consider a short on this one.
Oh,
another
MDIA.
$3 stock here. Look out, 13.
MDIA is trying to push up through the intraday highs.
It's going for it here.
Oh,
MDIA.
Yeah. Good stuff.
LIFW trying. There's a lot of stuff going on here. LIFW trying for those highs here. RVSN being mentioned by Tuna on a pullback here. This actually back to its VWAP. Sorry, 13. Go ahead.
I was just mentioning BSGM is in another halt now to the upside.
Oh, sure is. Here we go. So here's your halt fest, BSGM. Okay. Again, the only advice that I have for you guys, and I don't even know if it's advice, just kind of something I've learned over the course of me doing this. If you get gains on some of these, don't be afraid to take them. This can all kind of turn around in a hurry. John Mew mentioning Goog is pushing here today. So we did check on some of those other technology names. Google, nice orderly move up here in the pre-market, followed by an orderly move up in the regular session. That looks pretty good. Also worth noting, Tesla here. We talked about this one. This has been a ripper. 171.85 looks to be that bounce spot. Here we are, 177. Big move here in Tesla. Darn, I missed this one. I was actually looking at this here this morning, and I didn't trade it. That's on me. Damn.
All right. LASE is, it's really fallen into the well now. But
yeah, here we go. Well, should we try this? Should we try some of this short here, maybe?
You can try it short if you want.
See if it breaks this.
That's up to you. I think I'm going to be looking at a 65 EMA bounce, which I have at about 260 on the 5-minute.
I'd love for this to actually bounce back and give me my short entry as opposed to trying to keep jamming it short here, because I feel like I might get.
No, smoke tuna, you got it. Had a nice pop out of the gate, and that was it.
Yep.
Now, whether or not this comes back, that if it does, I don't think that it's going to, do that relatively soon. It might take a number of hours today if it is going to turn around. But that's the first spot I would be looking at is the 260 level. 250, 260, I think is probably a good area for it to at least slow down. Maybe look at that for a reversal. MDIA, sorry.
See if we go. No, I tried to short that 330 break, got filled at 327 short, which is unfortunately the dead bottom here. So I suspect we're going to bounce. May actually lower this share quantity here. And if we do bounce, might have to actually add to this because I think I'm with you guys here. I think I'm with you on that. Here, let's go ahead and set a stop just to make sure this doesn't get completely out of control. I don't think I'm going to let it get up there, but we'll see. MDIA.
Yeah, it's above the 420 level, and it's starting to go higher now. I still have 475 as the upside target. That's from the pre-market trading.
MDIA, this is breaking literally as we're speaking here.
Yeah, 450 is the big
This
level
is
to get over.
trying.
If it doesn't break here, it might need a little bit longer, but it does look like it wants 475. Well, that does that. Looks like ACRV could be turning around.
Okay.
If it can hold VWAP, it may be able to go higher.
I know you're not going to believe this, but Root is going for new highs. Crow, I know that you're saying that jokingly, but at this point, I think we can believe that on Root here. This is an absolute ripper. Man, 13, I should have bought some of this small yesterday. This is just one of those. I know.
No
It just kind of palms up. It's just kind of palms up. It's just one of those stocks.
There'll be other opportunities. Maybe not in Root, but there'll be other stocks.
Yeah,
I mean, look at MDIA.
That's a really good point.
Look at MDIA. We were just talking about this one going to 475. It is almost there.
Bang. Let's see on LASE here. We're going to keep fading. It looks like we're trying to bounce back here. Let's see if we can reshort this at 341.
Oh, Google press release for generative AI. That's nice.
Yeah, here I can actually read that here for you if you want. Let me pull that up here real quick.
MDIA is slowing down, but it got up to 470. Pretty good.
Google's still pushing higher here, by the way. I don't see the press release that he's mentioning from this morning.
LASE may have, well, it's trying to find the bottom, but it might just be a break before it goes lower.
Yeah, I don't have any press release. That might just be semantics.
We got 475 on MDIA.
Anyway.
Boom, dickety.
It's a bear party. Careful playing breakouts. There you go.
Yeah.
No, but this is why it's important to know like what the market actually looks like outside of the stocks that you're trading.
BSGM is open again. It shot up to 297 and now it's coming back in, trying to find support near VWAP.
I got VWAP at 227, by the way. Apple continuing to move higher. Netflix taking the next move lower here. Tesla still at the highs. And this Tesla rip, dude. What a rip on this one.
So with MDIA, it was awesome that we got right up to 475. Now, the next thing that I'm going to want to see if it's going to break that 475 level, it comes in a bit here. We get a support test from 420, and then we start to see it maybe go a little bit sideways, but I think this could try to push through 475 if that volume returns after we get some consolidation.
Robert, what the F am I even doing here if I can't get a laptop? Oh, God. Well, I'll tell you what, Robert. Number one, you can make other people laugh. That is for sure. That is for sure. Maybe you can, too. Maybe you can just absolutely crush it flying around in that Lambo.
Hey, you could probably get a new Lambo with this. This might not be a new one.
FNGR, I was looking at TSHA, looking at just kind of going through what other traders are taking a look at here, see if we can't find anything. NNOX being mentioned, anything going on there? Actually, NNOX did pop through that VWAP here. That looking pretty decent.
Carmen,
NRIX, over 15. Wow, this did a nice little move here. Nurix Therapeutics. Was there news on this, Carm? NRIX?
Bitcoin back above 70.
70,500 on the futures chart is what I have. Nurix Therapeutics announces extension of strategic collaboration with Sanofi to develop novel target protein degraders of STAT6. Clinical candidate with the first year of extension. Okay, so we did get some good news here. Needham reiterating buy, maintaining $31 price target. So, Carmen, I think you're in this one. Good catch on this one, Carmen. You've been on fire, Carmen. You really have with these small cap stocks. I know you have a kind of a large net where you take stabs at a lot of them, but it's really been working out for you. It's great to see. And I appreciate that you share that stuff with us.
MDIA not waiting for consolidation. It's back to testing 475, and it looks like it wants to take it out.
Jeremy says, so I'm never going to win my X back. Jeremy, they're an X for a reason. Go for something else.
There's plenty of X's in this trading session here. Just take your pick, man.
Sometimes I try to do this with a straight face, and then it's tough because sometimes the jokes are just so good.
If you want to do that, don't have me here.
Yeah. Jay, you didn't miss a whole lot, man. You did miss the market. The Dow and the SPY really kind of pulled back to 518, really kind of pulled back towards balance. But other than that, you didn't miss a whole lot. Maybe a BSGM halt.
Here we go.
Got it.
MDIA new highs 477. Got a little bit of pullback there. The next upside target I have for this one is going to be 565. I'm not going to say it's going to easily get there because I don't think easily is happening. It might, but it needs to start closing above 475.
Were you guys mentioning Wave? Wasn't this one of the stocks that was up big yesterday that is down here today? Kind of talked about this a little bit earlier already. Yeah, this went from $1.50 up to like $4, and it's really kind of come back in. I'm with Jay on this one. That initial move, if you figure out a way to capture that initial move when the momentum is fresh, it's probably when your odds are going to be the best. It's on the backside of that move where it really starts to regress, where those odds, maybe they're not, maybe they start to not work in your favor. LASE looks like this is kind of trading up here. We'll see if did I short this right at the bottom? That would really be a shame. We going back to the VWAP? What do you think? Wiss thinks I did. Wiss thinks this is the bottom.
It might be, but I don't want to say for sure yet. I think it still has a possibility that it could go lower, but I'm not saying that this is the bottom. I'm not saying that the top isn't either. I just don't know.
James working on his songwriting. Plenty of X's live in Texas. Maybe all of them, right? 13.
No, I moved here.
You're like,
them.
No.
I left them all in another state.
That reminds me of a Men in Black 2 quote. Lower your weapon. No. Oh man, I am definitely a movie dork in some cases.
That was probably the funniest part of the movie, to be honest.
I thought Men in Black 2 was all right. I like 1 and 2. Those are my favorite. John mentioning that Amazon is trying. Amazon really kind of flat here. I know it popped out of the gate, immediately sold, but it's really kind of right back to flat. Green a little bit here. Amazon, I think long-term, I like this higher. I did close that butterfly that I had for a nice little gain. So I would like to re-enter. I have no exposure to Amazon right now, and I would like to gain some upside exposure. No trade put on yet, though. I'll update you. Amazon definitely one I like higher over the long term.
Looking at MYMD, looking to see if this holds 280. We keep closing above 280, and it'd be nice to see it kind of go sideways a bit. But I'm thinking this could be a support level.
LIFW knife to the VWAP here. Nice on that one, Lauren. MDIA is the one that you were just mentioning, 13.
Yeah, and sweet. I am the X in Texas. You're right.
Yes. Jay saying Tesla looks like a big resistance at 185. So we were just taking a look. Actually, maybe that's what you missed because we did talk about that one here. We talked about Tesla. This really looks like this bounced off this 170, 185. Maybe call it 172. That would be fine. Here we are printing 178.5. I have some resistance at the top end of 178 here, so maybe just kind of 179. We back out a little bit. I've got more resistance there at 180. Jay's telling you more resistance here at 185. Let's see if we get that here today or not. Tesla has been super strong. Volume looking really good. A lot of the stuff looking really good here. LASE, maybe that bottom is in here. It's just starting to cook. Looking like we might be in trouble here on LASE.
It needs to get through that consolidation in the pre-market that we put in the last half hour. Big size to choose through at 352. Let's see if it can do it. It's chewing through it right now, but
PFRX, this curling back to the VWAP, we shall see.
Here we go. It's really chewing through it now. 350 on
this might be the stop point then if it goes through that here. Well, maybe it comes back in from this.
Yeah, cut it in half. But it still didn't eat all of it. like I said, that consolidation from pre-market, that's the part we need to get through, and then VWAP would be next.
Jesse, good morning, my dude. Hopefully
Hey.
you're doing well. Great to see you, Jesse.
The SPY is putting in some green candles, but I have to think that this is just part of more of a bear flag or a bear pennant pattern. We'll see if it can get back up. I'd say if it can get back above 1950, we might be in a better position. We'll see.
The bounce on the Dow actually looks a little bit stronger than the bounce on the SPY, but we'll see how that ends up going. LASE back to this 350 spot here. Let's see if it ends up breaking this. Yeah, they're taking it. There's a move higher through that 350 spot.
Oh, they got it? Nice.
They did take it. Now they're refilling it here. 350 filling back up. That number's gaining. They're still hitting it, but this is getting refilled here.
Yeah, 380 is the number they got to get through, because that's where the top of that consolidation generally is. And what else is looking good?
Let's see if Lassie gets rejected here. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to finalize this trade. Okay.
I keep seeing different Bitcoin names like, CLSK and Mara, because Bitcoin is turning around. It's back above 70, and it seems like it's going a little bit higher. To me, 70,600, probably about the level it needs to get through. There's a lot of consolidation in that area.
Lassie back to 350 here. I'm sorry I keep watching this. What I want to do here, I'm actually going to try. We're going to do a reshort here, and then we're going to take the stop loss. Yeah, did I take that stop loss? Oh, here we go. And now we just went through 350. Oh man, that is so frustrating. We're going to put our stop right here and then move this to 361. Okay. All right, so there's another big offer here at 353. So I'm actually, I just added short here, and I added to a losing short position. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to tighten my stop up. I might get stopped out right here. I'm going to make this 355. I meant to do it 355, but I dragged it to 354. So we'll see here on Lassie. This is a little bit dangerous because that VWAP is at 363. We'll see if this ends up sinking here on Lassie. Re-added short here, tightening up the stop, though, because we increased the position size. We'll see if this ends up working out. At least with the stop set, I can flip away from it. So let's go ahead and do that. RVSN was getting mentioned here. RVSN breaking down. Oh, no.
Derailed?
Derailed. I should have been on that one. BSGM, this bouncing here, trading back up.
Nice.
BSGM.
That's a nice formation.
Smoke Tuna saying Rail Vision is done here. Sally mentioning that Mara's getting some volume. We just talked about Bitcoin bouncing here. Mara looks to be participating in that bounce.
Yeah, and MDIA got support from VWAP. Looks like that's going to try and hammer 475 again.
MDIA, it's trying. Yeah, it's trying to curl here. We'll see if it has the strength to do that. With no positions right now, so I know you're just kind of looking around. You're looking for something, though. Let's see. Anyone can help me understand CGNT. I'm not familiar. Is that Cognizant? CGNT. That's Cognite Software. Down almost 12% here. Conference call. I think so. First of all, so real quick, Lauren, one thing to keep in mind here, that conference call, you might want to get a transcript of that and see what was said in there, because there might be something else in there that's material to this. I don't know. This is not a company that I follow here. It does look like we beat on EPS. Looks like, yeah, beat top and bottom line beat here. Beat on EPS, beat on, what was the guidance?
It seems like it's okay. The EPS loss not as bad as expected.
At the midpoint range, EPS loss. Yeah. Maybe there's something specific to their product. Maybe there was something mentioned in the conference call. Let's take a look at the chart, see what the chart says for us.
I would think it's something in the conference call that was said. If that's when the price started to go down.
Yeah, well, it's sunk. Yeah, it looks like it sunk right before the market opened. Then it took another leg down, bottomed out here about $7. So it looks like it's using 7 as support, although it is fading back towards that.
Maybe maybe there's a magic number with the guide that wasn't hit.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, though, this $7 level, pretty good support here. Prior resistance and current support at 7. So at least it went down to a support level. If it breaks that, I'd reassess here. I got stopped out of LASE, by the way, while we were talking about that. Looks like this did move higher. Oh, dude, it moved right to the VWAP and then lower. You know what, though? I knew that was the case. I didn't necessarily want to add at the VWAP. Maybe my initial entry wasn't that great. Tried on this one, tried to do this tactically, but when you start adding to losers on day trades, you either can't do it or you really, really have to stay by your stop. So unfortunately, that one didn't work out. We'll look for another one. 0 for 2 here today. Funky Cold Stocks, nice job. At least some of you guys are doing it. Maybe Parker's on that too.
Yeah, MYMD, it's still doing that consolidation. That's kind of what I want to see. I don't want to see it break down beneath 280. This is the one that I said 280 needs to provide that support. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just I'm looking at this, and this short would have worked. We just got flushed out of this one. This was a good. I know it's a $3 stock, but this was a good setup here. Just really kind of came back in. Really kind of came back, stopped me out, and then we got the move lower here. So this one would have worked. That's a bummer. That's a bummer. Carmen here mentioning, wow, NRIX is doing way better than I was expecting. Hope someone else had a chance to private. Carmen, I know that you mentioned this one, but I don't remember what your thesis was or why you liked it. I don't know if we discussed that. I think we just kind of talked about it moving around here. I did not, unfortunately, but great job for you. We'll give you a register ring on that one as well.
Yeah, past couple of candles on that one don't look too great, but that could change.
But that, yeah, it's had a nice move so far. Nice move so far.
It looks like all the things we were looking at are just kind of headed in the down direction, except for NRIX, of course. But
MSGM, this is Motorsport Games. We talked about this a little bit. This ripping to the upside on the highest volume pop of the day here. So this moving on volume. Tesla still going for that 180. Some of those other big caps kind of stopped. Apple stopped up here about 170. See if it breaks through there. Google stopped at about 160. Netflix on the downside move here. Looks like this is trying to hold in here at 622. See if we end up getting it.
Let's take a look at something here. I'm wondering how much of the non-Mag 7s are doing. Oh, look at that. Of the non-Mag 7s are doing well.
Money Farmer here. Ryan, heading to Chicago with my dad this weekend to catch a Hawks and a Sox game. Okay, well, I'm not a Sox fan, just so you're aware. And they are, I was listening to the radio today. They are pretty pathetic, but I hope that you have a great time at the game. Apparently, the Sox have some new milkshake that is going viral on the internet, the campfire milkshake or something. So maybe check that out with your pops there. Awesome on the Hawks game. Have a great time. Both of those venues should be fun to see a game at. Didn't take any trades today because I felt like I was just trying too hard. So hopefully tomorrow will be better. Hey, man.
Perfectly fine.
Yeah, that sounds like discipline to me. Look, I tried to force trades today. I'm 0 for 2. Nothing to show for it. So you might have made the smarter move here. Good stuff, Money Farmer. Enjoy your time in Chicago.
Sorry to interrupt, but look at MSGM that everybody's talking about. This thing
Motorsport Games, another big pop here.
It's a moving.
Whoa, and good timing there on that long, Wiss. Pay yourself on that. MGAM, boy, what is it? Traders just going after similar tickers here. MGAM, this through the V. This is just a penny stock, though. I'm going to move away from that. Sorry, Tuna. Gerald saying heavy in cores here. Bottom of the daily trend. Let me bring it up.
They had news, I believe.
I'll go through your thesis. Oh, I don't have. You know what? Let me get it in a different window. Hang on a sec.
I remember seeing a headline pop up with them. I don't know what it was, but
I will help you out. I will help you out here. That is for sure. All right. So here's your daily chart for cores.
Oh, upgrade.
Okay, so Gerald's saying bottom of the daily trend and tons of good news. Mined more Bitcoin than any other publicly traded company. Mined more might be the technicality there because there is no way this is even close to MSTR. But okay, you're saying mined. I don't know, so I can't comment on that. This actually looks like a pretty decent flag here. 13. You said this had upgrade news here today. No.
Which no. That's I was talking.
Oh, you
were
talking about something else. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was talking about Molson Coors.
My bad. Tap. Okay, sorry about that. So, mine 903 Bitcoins in March. This must have. Why is the price so low on this?
You have an infographic that shows you which companies have the most holdings of Bitcoin. I thought.
That's holdings though. He's talking about the mining operations. Okay. I'm just wondering why. I mean, 903 Bitcoins. That seems like a lot. Total liabilities 1.3 billion. Only 141 million in revenue. Yeah, it looks like it's just debt here. That's kind of sad. Yeah. Looks like it's just debt that's kind of weighing this down. Revenue growth down year over year too. Okay, well, we'll see here on Cores. Maybe this is a bottom. Maybe this is kind of coming off. There's a decent flag here. Let us know on this. Let me go back to trade the pool here real quick.
MSGM, that got as high as 416. Now it's really coming in. 345 is about where I have VWAP. Looks like MDIA had a knife that's trying to recover here. If it can get back above 420, maybe. It's still in the VWAP though.
MDIA. Let me flip over to that. Wiss here real quick saying, Ryan, I'm playing golf in Maui on Sunday. I thought I had your email, but I lost it. I got to send you pics. How about an invite? I'm just kidding. Here is airfare. Yeah, and airfare. Here is my email list. I would love to see pictures from whatever golf course you end up playing in Hawaii. That is spectacular. Jay mentioning Peloton, Neo, the dash for trash, normal laggards getting bought here today. We did see Neo trading higher.
Oh wow!
Here. Look at
SPY
that
really
here.
pulling. This is the bear flag result that I was talking about with the SPY. This thing has gone down to about 518. Almost at 518.30 that I was mentioning earlier this morning. That's the support level. We break through that, and the one after it is down at 515.50.
Yeah, I think 518. This actually represents the intraday bottom from yesterday. I think and the pre-market here. I think maybe you get a potential bounce or a slowdown there at 518. Only 30 cents away. Look for that to break and go lower here, though.
I've seen if Rail Vision. I know there's already been some folks saying Rail Vision might be done, but the way it's trading right now, it looks like it might be getting support. So I have my eye on it. Oh, wow. SPY really breaking down too.
Real quick, Carmen, I owe you a register ring. Awesome job on your Enrix trade. Awesome job. Oh, okay. So here was the full trade on April 2nd. Boy, this wasn't even a long one. This was a week, Carm. It announced it extended its partnership with Gilead, getting paid $73.5 million. I bought that day thinking it would eventually get noticed. Sold a week later here at 16. Nice move. What was your entry on that? That's a great trade.
That's awesome.
Yeah, that is awesome. We got Jay out here trimming more CGC on that short. That's awesome. We got a lot of stuff going on here.
Yes. You also won my envy a little bit there, Carmen. That was just, that was just great. You saw the news. You saw nobody was really, trading it or reacting to it. And you thought, hey, this seems like a good idea. And you got rewarded.
SPY's still pulling here. NASDAQ pulling it. Did we get a big news print? We must have. What am I missing? What am I missing here? I don't see it.
I don't see any headlines.
Yeah, I don't. Let me check. Let me check in here real fast, see if I can't find something else for you.
Maybe it's just taking risk off the table. All right, well, while the SPY does that, let's see what else is happening here. Looks like MSGM is getting support from the VWAP. Let's see if we can turn around.
Iran's Revolutionary Guard Navy commander says that Iran can close the Strait of Hormuz.
Yeah, I have no trades open
Yeah.
right now. With the SPY going down like it is, I'm just gonna kind of wait for things to shake out.
Yeah,
We
I'm
are
trying to
really dropping.
SPY tank. Yeah.
Sweet. I'll look at iRobot in just a tick here. Give me a second.
Yeah, sorry, I don't see what's actually driving that here. I was just kind of going through some news there.
What does
Sorry
Twitter
about
say?
that.
Is there anything on Twitter?
Yeah, let me check that too. The Twitter streets, my man.
So Swede with iRobot, I'm just looking at a 5-minute chart right now. I'd like to see 1020 provide support. We start breaking down beneath that, then $10. We break down beneath that 950. But right now it looks like it's putting in a bit of a bull flag. So if it can hold that support at 1020, that'd be good for the for an upside.
Look at Nvidia here.
Bull flag.
Sorry to interrupt here.
No worries.
Nvidia, this plunging towards the bottom. Looks like it's bouncing. What is this? 840?
Oh,
840
wow.
to 841.
Yeah, and Meta is also selling off too. And Netflix.
Jay mentioning that the overnight gap sold again. We're seeing that same thing here. Wow, this is really, Meta's really kind of accelerating to the downside. Even Apple kind of giving up some of its gains here. Stopped at that 170 level. Look at that.
Good. Well,
Everything is pulling. Indeed.
What was the news on Nvidia? Is there any there specifically?
Let me see. I was just looking at the. I got a lot of windows I'm flipping through here. You know, it's not pulling PWP. Just saying. LOL. Nvidia. Let's see if we had any fresh news on this.
I don't see any.
Yeah, I don't see anything. Some of those articles.
Okay. So you know how we've had a lot of discussions about the amount of power. I think that I'm not saying that this is why everything's going down, but it brings up a really concerning point. All this growth in AI is great, but the point about this article that came out at 9:38 is that, well, we may not have the power capacity to get to the point we're all hoping we get to.
Yeah, or the power capacity is the limiting factor in that move up. Yeah, I get that. That's partly the thought process behind those data center plays that we were talking about. I think the most recent one we were talking about on this show here was VRT. Look at this, by the way, totally moving to the lows here. VRT big selling here, big selling down 5 points here, expanding red volume candles as well. Darn. I'll tell you what, I think I was right to kind of short some stocks here today. I know MYMD, that ended up working out. I just kind of got shaken from it. LASE actually, I don't know if this worked yet, but this definitely shaken from this one. I think I was on the right track here. I executed poorly.
The thing in Taiwan. Oh, that's a good point. Weather, and I think it's the weather that you're referring to, Jay Walker, right? It's affecting production. Hey, easy, Mike.
Ticker TSM. TSM, by the way, green by just about 1% here.
Wow, NRIC's just still going.
EQIX, easy, Mike. You were mentioning this as a potential data center play, right? This was also in the information packet that we took a look at. This is one of them.
This
13,
was
you've been watching this one, haven't you? You
for a long time.
Yeah, oh yeah.
But remember this one also had that short report. How's that doing since that short report? Because I remember we didn't think that the short report had. Well, we were kind of back and forth on it because it was Hindenburg, right?
Yeah, and it was and we were like, Hindenburg, they do pretty good research, but this is a really good company. Something's got to break here. Let's see.
I mean, I have a hard time believing everything they had in that short report because it just was like, wow, that we're talking massive fraud here if that's the case. But it still hasn't seemed to have recovered. Trading underneath the 200-day SMA.
When was that?
It should have been earlier in March, I believe.
So it was early March, huh?
Yeah, I'll look for it with you.
EQ here. I'm actually just going to get EQIX short report. That was March 20th. So let's see in the news feed here where we are with that. Yeah, here we go. March 20th. So March 20th. Yep. Here, data center REIT Equinix falls amid short report. Okay, we've got that figured out now. So now let's take a look here from March 20th. What type of performance we're looking at on ticker EQIX. March 20th. That was right here.
We gapped down and tried to backfill the gap.
Yep. So this was a gap down, looks like from 560. We did try to backfill. We're lower.
Yeah.
We're lower. We're actually lower than that initial move down too, by the way. So there you go. Sorry it took so long, but there it is.
We'll figure it out in due time.
SPY continuing to pull here, 516. 516.70, that level that it's at right now, SPY. Wow, big pull.
Fantastic. Give us 515.50. Would love it. Don't worry, there's still other stuff going up. Like look at MDIA and look at NRIX.
So the big market is pulling and the junkier stocks are the ones that are holding up, giving you trading. Is that what I'm hearing? Oh, how about that? How about that? By the way, that PFRX, that pain reform that we did the exclusive story on, that bottom was right after that opening print. It has curled up since then.
Yeah, and it looks like it could get going too.
Stay focused. Good morning, man. What's cooking? What's cooking is this down move in the broader market here. Look at this. Stay focused. What? Let me ask you. Are you buying this dip here? You buying this move down here?
Dip sounds good.
I mean, it depends what kind of dip. I'll be honest. And it's still the morning. I'm not even sure. Maybe a fruit dip. I don't know.
We have a farmer's market outside my neighborhood that we go to frequently. They have some really awesome. Good. Oh, yeah. Salsa and other kinds of Mexican food is really good. Love it. Now you're making me think of dip.
Yeah. Shorting with the dip, pal. Okay, so stay focused here. Looks like you're increasing your short exposure on some of these bigger names. You got any targets you want to discuss? Understand if you don't, but would love to hear it.
SQQQ is doing really well right now.
Oh, you know how many people were trading that one? Are we above 11? Hope not quite.
Close.
Not quite, but we're close. We love dips, chips for the dip. Who you calling a dip? Nobody. Buy the dips with the chips. Okay, I think this is really kind of jumped the shark here.
Yeah, well, enough of this dip shit.
That was just so like natural and off the cuff. That's what was most impressive about that.
All right, SPY. Oh wow,
SPY is not going up, Jay.
No,
it's literally pounding the lows as we speak. I understand if you think that there's a long term, it's going to go up. I get it, but right now it's not doing that. Okay.
See you tomorrow with your short. SPY is going up. That's possible. It could bounce, especially if it gets down to that 515.50 level. We're close. We're close. I do think we could get a
515.85 right here.
Cycling through some of the ones that we were talking about this morning. Lots of them still headed down. Vivos could be recovering. It's in the process, but I'm not saying that it's recovered yet. MDIA wants to take another shot at 475 again. Maybe get some closes above it this time. Oh, Smoke Tuna talking about Airship. That old girlfriend's back too.
AISP. Is that what we're referring to here? NVIDIA was at the lows, by the way, when I changed away from. Let me take a look at SMCI. AISP, actually a decent red selling candle here, took it to the lows.
Are we looking for a bounce here?
Those lows as well.
He's saying loading level. Okay, so he's looking for a bounce here.
Say goodbye to LASE. Oh, looks like that's going to break. I tell you what, Murray, we were on the right track with the shorts today. That's what I'm going to take away from this. I know I got stopped out of it, but we were on the right spot there. We made the right initial assessment, and we actually had a couple of things that were moving to the downside, just didn't stay in them enough. That was it.
275 next downside level for LASE. If it breaks down beneath that, then I think that maybe somewhere between 230 and $2 it could find some support.
Netflix took another leg lower here. A lot of these, like Bitcoin, by the way, resuming its sell-off beneath 70K 13. So I bet that has an effect on some of these other names that we were taking a look at. Coin continuing to move lower with the price of Bitcoin. That chart actually looks similar to the intraday Bitcoin chart. Yeah, what were you saying? What's up?
I was just looking at I don't know what Gerald is saying I was sharp about, but NRIX, that got up to 1671, and that had a big pull. Now it's trading down at around 16.
Carmen with another really good transaction there, selling it prior to that knife. Great job. ETX getting mentioned here. VIX at 1624. Yeah, for any of you VIX watchers.
All right, there it is. 515.50 on the SPY. This is where I would think we get to see some support.
Don't we have CPI tomorrow?
Believe that is tomorrow.
So you think there may be kind of dressing the SPY up for that print?
Let me see when the next report is.
Did I get my tinfoil hat out for that? I don't know.
Yes, tomorrow is the next release.
So you think that they're kind of doing this ahead of that? I don't know. I'm just kind of thinking out loud here. Yes, Sally says yes. Okay. Well, at least someone doesn't think I'm crazy and I need to bust out my tinfoil hat. LASE keeps getting reloaded. By the way, ACRV, this is really hung out in that range. We talked about this one early as a morning mover. Didn't really give any type of movement. Really just been hanging out in that range. Let's check on LASE here.
They don't want it to break down.
SPY more lows here, 515.
Jeez. It's like Thursday all over again.
Thinking Out Loud, Ed Sheeran by Ryan. You know, I don't think do I know any of his songs? What are his popular songs that I might know? I mean, if it wasn't made before 1990, it's doubtful I know about it.
Well, 515.50 didn't really do a whole lot except temporarily, hold up the sell-off. 512 is the next downside level I got.
RP Trades, good to see you. You're taking a look at TLT. You're trading the TLT here today?
So Bitcoin's going down, SPY's going down, because everybody's just getting into cash.
Kingdom Lamb, this is some out there stuff. Trading with a tinfoil hat is very effective. Look into AI mesh routers reading your brain waves. Man, that's too much for me. Qs are under their 50-day, Jay. Maybe we finally do start that breakdown here on the Qs. Let me get you a better chart to take a look at this at. We'll see where we could possibly go next here on the Qs. Here is your Qs. I've got the 50-day at 436.65, Jay. So I don't have us under that yet. What volume do you have there? Or what volume? What value do you have there on your 50-day for Qs? I mean, we're approaching this. We're about $1 away. I could easily see us going under this here today. By the way, this actually gives us another opportunity to take a look at intraday at ACN. This was a potential long that we were looking for. I'll tell you what, this sure looks like this is breaking down. And 13, you might get your scenario here where Accenture breaks beneath that 200-day, then recaptures it either on a good catalyst or good volume or something like that and give you your potential setup here. ACN.
That's what I'm looking for. We'll see if that's what I get.
Oh man, we're just, this is open season here. Wisdom saying Ryan sings to Cyndi Lauper. I didn't think we were going to get a Cyndi Lauper mention here today, but here we are. Well, swinging the red wine and gold chain like Tony Montana. Dude, you are mixing up a lot of stuff in there. You're mixing up a lot of stuff in there. Cyndi Lauper did have some crazy pants, though. Just saying.
Sounds like Pulp Culture, the movie. MDIA is trying to push, getting some volume to come in here. Wants to take out all this supply here at 467, 466.
LASE pop could be coming. Let's go flip back to trade the pool.
Maybe.
So this trade, so I know I got stopped out of this one, but this has really kind of held this same area. There wasn't a whole lot of movement here.
No, but I think it's the consolidation here that would have them and also me thinking that it's trying to turn around here. So as long as this starts to hold up and curl some more, it's definitely possible. MSGM is I think I saw that getting mentioned by somebody. Maybe I was just seeing things. No, Swede was saying MSGM soon. Possibly. I don't know though. I don't feel as good about this one. I mean, you could be right, but I just don't feel as good about it as some of these other ones that we're looking at. Looks like we're finally seeing a slowdown in the selling of the market.
Holding here at that 515, trying to find some support here at that 515 level.
There we go with PRFX.
That come back to the VWAP there?
No, it's breaking out. This is the one I was telling.
PRFX, I think you meant.
PRFX. Yeah. Sorry if I said it wrong.
Yeah, that happens all the time. So yeah, it went right to the VWAP and through. Let's see if we can actually start moving higher here.
That was a good one.
Oh, look at this. Gary saying Apple has patented a new generation of AirPods that may be able to read brainwaves and other biosignals. Okay, so I didn't hear this, but this is more of a reason for me to stick to my Galaxy Buds.
That's probably more of a reason for China to not want to have Apple in their country anymore.
Interesting point. Something they can't control.
They're gonna, yeah, they're gonna. I mean, this is what the thing that China wants to be doing, not have an American company do it.
PFRX starting to accelerate here, folks.
Yeah,
this was a great call. 13. You were on this one.
That consolidation, and then it started to curl up, and I was like, I'm going to try this.
Anne Marie, I'm with you. That sounds horribly dangerous. Like, am I the only one not getting excited about having my brain waves read by AirPods? That I don't. That's not a selling point. let's go with that. That's not a selling point for me. Oh man, yeah. Carmen's saying that's creepy. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'm not alone. That's good. I was worried about me being crazy, but good stuff. Oh, that's funny.
I'm never leaving the house again.
I was going to say that's turning me more into a hermit. I'm moving from introvert to hermit at an alarming pace because of some of the news flow out here. Oh man.
Hello, police. There's a guy that's been parked out of my house in front of my house for 2 days. I think he has an iPhone.
See, like this, I don't know. I know you've been saying this. I don't know if this is true. I'm telling you, they have AI routers technology where you can think of an image and the AI will draw it, such as a beach or mountains. I don't like this. Like, this isn't a good thing. I don't know what you're referring to, but on the surface of what you're saying there, I don't like that. Let me tell ChatGPT to draw something for me. Don't be reading my brainwaves and doing shit for it. That none of that's good. By the way, NASDAQ still at lows here. SPY taking another leg lower here as the sell-off steepens. Dow also at the lows as we look around here.
Look at
a lot of stuff moving lower here, folks.
Yeah, LASE, it's still hanging in there. Not saying it's coming back yet, but it's just hanging in there. Just wanted to point that out.
PFRX, we're having the expanding volume. This was, man, oh man, PFRX. This move from 2 has been great. Dude, Kingdom, you are out there today. Wear sunscreen before going to bed. Man, I'm going to have to take a break from some of this here because I'm going to go a little bit crazy. I am not ignoring you. I'm just politely telling you that I'm taking a break from some of that. Wisdom saying, hey, Ryan, just a heads up. New cars send your information how you drive to the insurance company. There are ways around that. That's all I'm going to say. And I'm just going to leave it right there.
Yeah, sabotage the vehicle Wi-Fi.
Block a specific port.
Yeah.
I don't know.
MDIA still making its way up. I think it wants to try to take 475 here in a second.
Think we break out of this double top here?
It
480 that high, but 475 looks like the spot.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely, it is. We just need to get some closes over it for more upside. We got rejected earlier. Got up to 480, rejected. So looks like NRIX is kind of just cooling off a bit and getting ready to go again.
Sally mentioning DXYZ. Shame on me. I haven't taken a look at that. By the way, MDIA here, 480 is coming, and there is some size there. So keep an eye on this if you're in this. I'm going to switch to DXYZ here. Sally mentioning the volatility is crazy. It's apparently a closed-end fund that holds a portfolio of private companies with high growth potential like SpaceX. Yeah, we talked a little bit about this yesterday, but I wasn't sure what the holdings were here. This thing printed 120s in the pre-market, 61 here, cut in half.
Isn't DXYZ one of these stocks that we talked about where they, to her point, they had investments in some of these IPO AI names, and they're reaping the benefits from those becoming publicly listed now. Look at MDIA. This thing is ripping now. It's over 475.
It did break that high. Yeah, it took that on volume.
Yeah. Yeah, this thing's going to try for 5 here in a bit. That's the next big level to get over. But the upside target I have is 565 for this.
Here we go. Jay, adding to this. Really appreciate this. SpaceX, OpenAI, Discord, Epic Games, and Stripe. Okay, that's actually a really great mention. Full disclosure here, we use Stripe here at BZ. Definitely like that integration.
So they're one of the pipe investors for Discord then.
Stripe is or the
DXYZ, because Discord isn't public yet.
No, it isn't.
But they're planning on bringing it public.
So how does that work then, Jay? Right, because this is just a fund, right? This DXY, this is just an ETF. This is a Destiny Tech 100. Destiny Tech is a non-diversified closed-end management investment company. It invests in a portfolio of what is believed to be 100 of the top venture-backed private technology companies. So it looks like it's all, well, Stripe, that's not public. So all of these are private then.
PFRX.
Yeah, many of their holdings are pre-IPO. Okay. This is, interesting. This is an interesting one to watch then.
Yeah, this is because remember
this will give you sentiment on some of those.
This was something that was discussed in the happy hour shows. How this one in particular could really benefit from when those stocks IPO. I wish I had more information on it, but I think that was something that Ray and Andy were discussing.
Yeah, I think you're right.
PFRX, by the way, big old pull, and now it's trying to recover again. We're almost at 11 on the SQQQ.
Yeah, that SPY taking another move lower here. 514. It's going for the bottom of 514, that low 514 handle.
MDIA got to 499.
And it stopped right short of 5, huh?
Yeah.
Sure did. Size at 5 there, by the way.
If it can get support at 475 now, that might give 5 its due.
PFRX here was being mentioned. This did that pop that we recently had. It got pulled to the VWAP, but it's holding here. So not dead in the water yet. Stick around, folks. 5 more minutes. We're going to bring on the options master, Anne-Marie Baiynd. She probably doesn't want me saying that, but I'm going to go ahead and say it. Looking around here to see if there's anything else going on or anything that I might have missed. I don't think so.
Oh, I got to take a look at something. All right. Remember we were talking about this in happy hour yesterday, the whole restaurant theme. Wingstop. That was I was saying it looks like a double top. Well, we got a big red candle today, and it's headed towards a 50-day SMA.
So let's take a look at that here real quick. This is going to be ticker Wing, right? Do you need a daily chart? Yeah, let me flip over to Pro, and we'll go with the daily chart here on Wing, because we did talk. This is actually a really good discussion last night in happy hour.
Yeah.
But let's take a look here at the chart on Wing. Let me pull it up here first, and then we'll get it for you here. Bang, bang. Here you go. So this is the double top that you were talking about right in here, where we were kind of rejected, and now it seems that we're moving lower here, possibly to some of these moving averages. Got 334.35 is the next one.
Yeah, but that's what I was seeing in Wing. And along with that theme that we were discussing yesterday, I could see this going much lower. So I don't know how long it's going to take, but let's try to see. Looks like MDIA did get support from the 475, and looks like it wants to try to go higher. Not sure how long this is going to take to shake out, but 5 is the next upside level it needs to get through. I have 565 as the upside target.
Jonathan mentioning that the chart pattern's starting to look pretty clean here on MDIA. If that's the case, you're probably waiting for another potential VWAP pull and then bounce. We'll see if that ends up doing it. Gerald's here booking gains on GPAC. This is just a penny stock. I'm still going to give you a register ring there, Gerald. Careful with those penny stocks. And then Richard is asking, does anyone know cattle? Richard, you must have just stopped in here. And not any of the past day. I feel like we've been talking about cattle for a week straight in this show. Yes, we are familiar with this. This a former runner now looks like it's on the backside of the move. Lower we go here. Ticker CADL.
Looks like intraday it's trying to find the bottom and recover here. So we'll see if it can recapture 580.
ACRV, this was, we talked about this one at the outset here. Looks like this is still in that range, although it did just reclaim its VWAP here. This is kind of a disappointment. Did not give us the trade setup that I was hoping for. Just really kind of stuck around in that range. How's PWP doing? This was following the corrupt Congress people into their trades here. PWP still cooking here higher, looking like it's going to try and take 16. I've got the high print intraday here, 1596. Thank you, Mr. Gottheimer, for the alert.
Did I jump on SBR? No. Take a look at
SBR, Sam Bravo Romeo. Did I get that ticker right?
I guess. I mean, it's one of those Morse coders, so I probably wouldn't be trading
Morse
this.
Coders.
Yeah.
That reminds me of an Under Siege quote. What is that? That's Morse code. What are they saying? They're saying, get me out of here.
I'm trying to think of what movie that's from.
Under Siege, baby. That's Steven Seagal.
Was that
Under
the
Siege?
movie? Okay.
Under Siege 1. I'm 100%. I'd be willing to bet 100K on that. That's how confident I am.
MDIA not able to hold 475.
I'm just going to move on. MDIA pulling back here to the VWAP on MDIA. I've got that VWAP here, 439. We'll see if it stops there. I'm up 4% on your PWP call. Hey, look, we're just following Congress people in. The ones that never seem to lose, man. We're just going to follow them into some trades.
It's almost like they know something.
It's almost like they know what's going on, right? Thank you, BZ Pro. Okay. That is probably going to do it here for today. We are going to bring on Anne-Marie. 13, any closing words here for our group?
Brace yourselves for CPI tomorrow, folks, and then we get earnings. So should be a fun time. Enjoy the rest of your day. Be careful.
I expect a meme to be created out of you with the, what was it, Game of Thrones? Brace yourselves. CPI is coming.
Jesus.
We'll see. All right, 13. Take
later.
care of yourself. Good stuff here today. We are going to move on. 13 leaves room here to bring on Anne-Marie Band so we can talk about some options. Anne-Marie, how you doing here today? I think that you're muted because I don't hear you. No, I cannot hear. I see your mouth. I can lip read you, but I can't hear you. I don't think it's on my end. Oh, okay. Yeah, so I'm not sure what's going on here. Let me know if you do get that. In the meantime, I will go ahead and flip around. We'll take a look at some of the charts that are moving around here until Anne-Marie gets her audio solved. We'll see here. You know what? Maybe we'll ask Anne-Marie. She gonna rejoin here. We'll see. We handle technology issues like it ain't no thing here, folks. Don't even worry about that. We'll get Anne-Marie all set up here. You know, I'm almost wondering if we're gonna have an advanced options trade here on Wing. This actually might be a half decent setup. We'll see if we get that. I think we talked about ACN recently, so we'll ask Anne-Marie about that here. She has YOLOs, and I don't think Anne-Marie is a YOLOer. I don't think she's a YOLOer, but we'll see. Well, we'll see what else she has lined up for Tesla. This really kind of holding in here, huh? I still think we print 150s on Tesla. I know we're not going to do it here today, but wouldn't be shocked if we did. All right, let's see.
All right. Do you hear me?
Perfect. I don't know. Like I was saying, we handle technology issues here like it's not even a big deal. It's just I'm not going to be fazed by a technology issue.
I know it. So what about this dip?
What about it? What are you doing with it? I mean, look, for me, when you ask me that, I mean, I'm got to be careful here because I've been expecting a SPY dip for a long time. So are we getting it here? Are the buyers just going to step in? What do you think?
Well, I think the buyers are going to try and step in, but what we can stare down here is the fact that we should have some sort of movement that takes us to the bottom of some weekly ranges and then tries to make us bounce again. Right.
Okay. Well, just no pressure here, but one of our chatters is citing you as the reason that we're bouncing in the SPY right now. So I just want to throw that out there. Apparently, you're making the SPY bounce here. So,
well, interestingly enough, if we take a look, you know, my philosophy is always, if you want to know where the markets are going, look at your current candle and then look 2 to 3 candles to the left, and it'll tell you what the guys following the breadcrumbs are doing. And the guys following the breadcrumbs are retracing down into the open of 3 weeks ago, right? And so the big thing is, though, last week, Thursday, when we had that big washout, right? The question is, what's really going on? And we're inside, right? Here's the big washout from Thursday. Here's Friday. Here's Monday. Here's Tuesday. At the end of the day, if we go with the Rob Smith, God bless his soul,
yes.
He's gone on. We would still be in an inside space and not be concerned about a resolution from that space. So I think we are in a buy the dip formation. And so what makes it very pretty is if you start with your dailies and you go, okay, we've got ourselves a dip buy from whatever liquidation might be going on. As it comes in, if you're staring down, if you use that philosophy of, hey, I'm going to look at the current candle, 3 candles to the left, and I'm going to watch the high lows, opens and closes. And as I get to the bottom, if I'm in a trending formation, and then let's just do this. Let's just draw this. There's a method to my madness here. we can see we have trend. And so if this comes down and it starts hitting these lines, we have a place where we could go, you know what? I think I'll buy myself a long SPY. So how long should I hold that long SPY for? If we are 0 DTEers, we might say, you know, if I'm at my 515 level, look at how much premium they put in here, right? 515.42 is the current price. So the 515 strike has 50 cents or so of intrinsic value. That's the value that is between the price of the stock and the price of the strike. Everything else is extrinsic value. So, for instance, if I look at 516, 516 has an extrinsic value of 0 because there is, if it expired right this minute, that would be worth nothing, right? Mm-hmm. So out of the monies have extrinsic value and intrinsic values of, extrinsic. There I go. Let's pull it up so that we can see extrinsic, intrinsic, right? So it's intrinsic that has no value. It's extrinsic that's just the entire price of the option once it gets out. So now that I've done a great job of confusing all of you, let's say it again. Intrinsic is the value of the strike plus or minus the value of the stock. And so the intrinsic value here is 64 cents. You can see it as it rises. That's that number over here. So what we can see is there's almost $1 of value that's extrinsic that's going to vaporize, right? And so the question might be, all right, how do we want to do this? Let's say we expect price to bounce off of this 515 level. We might want to buy it. And let me close all of these off. Oopsie. Close all of these off. Let's say we expect it to stay at 515, but we don't want to spend all the money and we don't really know if it's going to run off the hills. We can buy the 515, 517 strike, and that's only $1, which means we're only spending 30 more cents than we would if we were just buying the option outright. The problem is that it's a limited value event. Our increase can only be $1 because we bought the 515 and we sold the 517. So if it moves all the way up to 517, that's all we get, the difference of the $1. If you think, like I like to, I don't really like to buy spreads in 0 DTEs. I like to say to myself, where might we be running to? And I think that number is actually 517. So now we look out of the money, but it's really running very fast. And so you can say, hey, I'll buy the 17,519, and that might give me a 54-cent exposure, $54 exposure, and potentially $2 to the upside. So it becomes 4-to-1 versus 1-to-1. All right. Any questions we want to go through there? Here's the takeaway. If you want to do this again and go, Anne-Marie, how can I do that? So I do a video for Benzinga Pro members in the morning, and I put it up in the chat. And this morning I said, listen, the buyers are going to try and get us over 520. If we can't, we're going to sell down to the bottom of the range. And so here we were. And so this is a space where you could go, you know what? I'm buying a put. I'm going to buy the 520 put. And when it fades to my support zone, I'm going to take it off. So that happened almost at the open. And so if you look at the 520 put, it's actually moved. What's the net change? Where is my net change? Net change. This 520 put is up $2.46 from the open. So we could have said, yeah, we could have said, hey, I'll double my events. But indeed, we never know whether it's going to happen. But that's how you might say to yourself, hey, what do I see? I see momentum that's sideways. I see I've got an inside candle. I see I've got support, resistance, support, support, resistance, 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 resistance. I'm going to take an outside bet on the resistance. And so that's the same reason that you look at a support. And it's the reason that I always start that morning video with show me what the day chart looks like, because that is going to tell me where I can position for these 0 DTE trades. And if we just use a 50% stop loss there, or potentially less, depending on what the market is doing, we'll be in a really, really nice shape. If you had said, hey, I think it's going to go from 520 to 518, and you bought the 518 puts, well, that is now at 250, but it's moved up $1.74. So it's really, I mean, you really start doubling your money if you're thinking about targets for sideways formations.
Yeah, that, and by the way, the plan that you just had, that looks awesome. I actually should have done more paying attention to the fact that we are still inside that candle. But this plan here looks like it worked out perfectly. Marlon here is asking a question I wanted to clear up here real quick. So the 515 option is worth 0 now. This is, I think, going back to your discussion about intrinsic and extrinsic value. He's saying, so the 515 is worth 0 now, but what you're saying is tomorrow it can change and be worth something. No, these expire today, right? So let's take the second part of that first here. You're not saying that the call here for today is going to do anything tomorrow because it's 0 DTE and it's going to expire. Number one.
Oh, exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
So right there, Marlon, we're talking about contracts that expire here today. So we're not even looking into what it can do here tomorrow. So I think this question is actually referring to your 515, 517 spread that you were just talking about. So Marlon, let me know if there's something else in there I can clear up. I guess the first part of this, so the 515 is worth 0 now. So I guess he's confused as to how you're making that. But would you mind kind of running through that?
Yeah, of course. Now the 515 is not worth 0 now. The 515 is actually worth 61 cents.
And that's the intrinsic value column that she highlighted earlier. She actually has that column updating in real time. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, no, that's great. But that's what you see. That's the actual value of the option, right? So that's what the 515 is worth now. The dollar that's extra is extrinsic value. And if the market closed right this second, that dollar would vaporize.
So she's trying to
vaporize.
Yeah. So it looks like what you're trying to do is you're trying to pinpoint that extrinsic value and then capture it.
Yes. What I'm trying to actually do is capture the rise, but limit the risk. And so if a dollar of this is going to vaporize, see, look at this. If this closes right this second, if I bought the 515, 517 call and I paid 99 cents for it, I'm going to lock it down so it doesn't move anymore. And the market closed right this instant with the intrinsic value worth 78 cents, I would lose 26 cents or so, right? If it closed me just holding the 515, I would lose $1. And so I always build a structure for a trade based on what if the wheels come off the bus. I never think about, hey, how's this going to look if I'm doing X, Y, or Z? I'm like, what if I'm totally wrong? What if the wheels come off the bus? what could happen. Now, to be very transparent, many times that's put me on the side of the wins that has much less to show for it. But on many other times, it's kept me out of pickles and out of drawdowns that I really would not have wanted to have.
Yeah,
so it's a little bit give and take.
And the good, I mean, for me, I hate pickles and drawdowns, so I would definitely want to avoid those. I totally understand. Real quick, Marlon, I know we were answering a question here for you. Did we adequately answer that? Did you get the answer that you were looking for? Mustang saying, sure wish I was recording this one. Mustang, I would say that if you want to do that, you can look into screen capture and recording. I'm not trying to promote that, but perhaps more importantly, or where you're going to get more value, is actually joining Benzinga Pro and participating in Anne Marie's chat room. Like she started off by saying, you started with a morning video this morning
every day,
and that kind of set the stage for you. So Mustang, maybe get in there, and remember, you can always try Benzinga Pro for free using our trial. See how great Anne Marie actually is, and then you can kind of go forward from there. So just I know you weren't going to do it. I had to plug you, Anne Marie. We had to talk about that one. Good stuff here. Marlon, let me know if that did answer your question.
Thanks so much. All right. So now.
So I'm sorry to interrupt here. So yeah, Marlon's saying, so extrinsic is your profit? Question. He's asking. He asked first if intrinsic was your profit. Now he's asking if extrinsic is your profit.
Intrinsic, the difference between intrinsic and extrinsic is simply the value of the option. So let's take a look at this one more time. Extrinsic is not profit. Let's do it one more time and have a look at it. Intrinsic value.
You're on, okay, no, you got it.
Yeah, here we go. So the 515, it continues to move up. Notice we're all the way up at 516.30. Mm-hmm. This 517, 519 call spread that we were looking at 48 cents, it's now worth 60. So it's continuing to climb in the direction. You might say, hey, I'm just going to buy the 517 and go from there, or whatever, right? The goal is accept the risk. If you say, hey, I'm going to risk $138 to buy the 516, that means for you to hold this all the way to the end of the day, it would need to close at 517.46 for you to break even. But during the course of the day, this will continue to expand. So you could actually sell it before the close of the day and still make money. So I shouldn't have said that. That really throws a kink in things. So let me show you this. The intrinsic value, when we first started looking at the 515s, it was around 60 cents. It's now $1.35. Why? Because the price of the stock is $1.35 more than the price of the strike. The extrinsic value is what vaporizes if you're out of the money. And so everything underneath, being in the money or out the money, will vaporize to zero. And the numbers here, 93, 53, 28, 14, all of that is extrinsic value. It's the value that they're charging you to hold the option that literally means nothing. It's just a passage of time. And it's how these option models, I use the Besund Stenland, but you could easily use Black-Scholes, right? Whichever one you want. So that being said, extrinsic means what you pay that it is not worth. So if I pay for the 517, that strike literally has zero intrinsic value because the price is only 516.42.
So Marlon, let me know if that answers your question. That should do it. She's playing for the move up off those levels there. So really, really good stuff. Who's laughing now? Jay, it looks like you are the one that is laughing. Nobody made a bet with you. Nobody owes you anything. I have no idea where you got that from. You are in your own world. Anne-Marie is great, as you were saying, but nobody owes you lunch. Nobody bet you anything. Sorry, my man. Nice try, though. Okay, they're just trying to wiggle free stuff out of us, but we're too smart for that. Anne-Marie, did you have any other trade, or did you want to catch up on a previous trade that we talked about?
Well, we could do both. Which one? We could do both. Let's start with Palo Alto.
I was going to say Palo Alto was one of the first ones that we looked at. The most recent one that we looked at is Accenture. That's having kind of a rough day. I would say probably let's start with Palo Alto here.
Okay. So Palo Alto is sitting in a space where we've been looking at it thinking, holy cow, this is one of the juggernauts of cybersecurity.
Yeah. Best in
and it had itself a terrible time. It got a case of dysentery. And so as we look at it to recover, I said, hey, let's, we were over here before earnings. So we took an earnings trade in the Benzinga Pro Room and we did a double butterfly. So we were betting either it goes really high or really low. And we spent about $180 on both sides. Of course, it fell out of bed and the call side vaporized to zero. The put side also vaporized. So listen to how this incredible thing works. It absolutely fell. We had a 300, 290, 280 put butterfly. And when the price action opened up, it opened up down at 260. So here's how a butterfly looks. And let me show you this. So if we have a butterfly and we have 300, 290, and 280, and we spend a debit, right? It means that if it falls below 280, we are going to start having all of the money that we spent on that debit vaporized. It's sort of like what happened with Humana, right? That call, it just fell out of bed. I should have taken a double butterfly there. I should have. I don't know why I didn't, but I should have.
You know what? So real quickly, I think we talked about there being a potential floor under that because it was such a highly institutionally owned name. If I recall correctly, I think we had that discussion when you were doing that trade, but I digress.
Yes. And so that it has tried to bounce off the 300. I don't know what it's doing today, but in any case, here we have this. And so we might get nervous and go, oh my goodness, this thing fell off a cliff, but we bought it for April's expiration. We gave it time. And so yesterday we covered the long side of the spread. So notice we can go in and break the butterfly apart. So we sold the 300, 290. We had that it was long and we collected $9.55. Absolutely fantastic. Now we're $2.80 in the hole or so because that's how much it took to buy both butterflies. So if we take $2 off the top, we still have $755 of profit that is sitting in this butterfly formation. And it's doing exactly, it's no longer a butterfly. We rolled one of the contracts. So now we're short the 270, 280 that we put on yesterday. And that one is just moving like a house of fire in our favor as the price action bounces into April's expiry. And so it should get to around that 280 place. Then we get to cover it and collect, we'll probably end up being about 600 to the positive side. So that's what we had. Now If we're looking at it brand new, couple of things we can do. We can say, wait, that's done a really nice job coming off the floor. It's a powerhouse. So let's anticipate that the short put spread is going to be good to us, and we can choose May. Earnings is 523 or so. So let's look at a May short put spread that's got about 255 as our strike. Okay, so we'll do, if we do 3,000, that looks good. We can do 260 to 250 on a short put spread. And that's going to give us $2.37 on a credit. So that means the break-even price is $2.57 and 60 cents. So do we, or $257.60. Does that make sense? Here's how you calculate that. If you sell the 260 and you buy the 250, because you're getting a credit, the break even will be 260 minus the $2.40. So you don't really start losing money until it loses that 257, 258 area. And that is clearly above the key support zones. Question?
Anyone have any questions out here? I love how you set these trades up. No, I don't. Let me know if anyone, Marlon, did you get this one, Marlon? I know you're still looking towards that last SPY one. Let me know if you have a question on this particular butterfly here.
Right. And so it would just be
good.
a short put spread that would say, hey, listen, if it goes down here into 260, I'm still covered. I'm in great shape. If it goes down here into 255, I'm still in the shape where my risk is very minimal. My thought is that this would close up at this 285 area. And so I want to set an alert. Remember, you always want to set alerts when things need to come off your balance sheet, and set alerts where you're concerned about what's on your balance sheet. And so we're going to put an alert at 260 and then at 285. If it happens to bounce into those ranges, you want to cover them post haste. You don't want to give them time, because I suspect we're in the market scenario of see money, take money.
I think you're probably right. I think you're probably right about that. And actually, I've been saying, one of the things that I've been saying to people is like, look, when you make any of these trades, when you get them, don't be afraid to take it. Don't be afraid to pay yourself with it. Don't necessarily sit in for that huge home run. Be okay with the single or the double and move on here. So I think you're right on that one.
All right. So we only have a couple of minutes left, but I want to go to Accenture.
Perfect.
Who, from a weekly perspective, it's breaking the close of the prior week, but it's holding the low. And this 330 is literally a fantastic line in the sand. Now, my suspicion is that if it breaks 330, a bunch of buyers are going to come in. Now, I have two iron condors here that we've got in, and one of them has got a wide spread that's $15 wide. One of them has a tight spread that's only $5 wide. So you might go, Marie, why? It has to do with margin, right? If I take a look at the iron condors where they sit, the $5 margin is giving me a ton of credit right now, right? I'm almost got 50% of that right here. And this one is almost 50%, 750 would be that midline for this one. But even though Accenture is not behaving well, it's still not telling us, hey, this thing's going to crater. It really is not. And because my momentum is so low, I have a tendency to see price reversals over time in that range, which is why I've chosen June as the expiry. I want to give it time to get its wiggles out and have it bounce. Now, earnings.
Let me stop you there real quick, because I actually have a potential stock trade waiting on this, and it is doing. I'm saying the same thing that you are, except I'm looking at stock. I'm waiting to see it consolidate above that 200-day. I'm waiting. What did you just say? I'm waiting for the wiggles to wiggle out.
Yes.
Whatever you just, and then I'm looking for. I don't know if it's going to break up or break down from there, but that's the event that I'm waiting for, and I'm not so concerned with being in there for the wiggles. So I just find it really interesting that your options trade is saying the exact same thing. My stock.
Thing.
Yep,
yeah, cool. I love
cool.
it. And really, I focus on how the stock trader is looking at a stock before I even go to the options. If it doesn't make sense to me from the trader of the stock, I am not going to go to the options.
Yeah, don't even,
because I think it's gambling.
Nope, I'm with you on that. Hey, look, I love this. I absolutely love this. This was great. I know we packed a lot into a very short amount of time here. We covered several different tickers, but this is absolutely awesome. And I'll say it again, folks, if this is the type of stuff that scratches your itch, you got to try out Anne-Marie's chat room. Anne-Marie, morning video, midday video, trade setups that you give. Anything else I'm leaving out here?
I normally say if something happens, if news pops in or whatever, I normally go in and say, hey, listen, you want to tighten up your risk a little, you want to do whatever. And I do track the trades. We follow them. We set alerts for when they come out. So we sort of walk hand in hand through them.
And that's valuable too. Learning, it's one thing to just say, okay, here's the entry, here's what we're looking for, here's what happens if it doesn't work. But being able to kind of track that along the way is really paramount. Anne-Marie, I know you've spent time with me on my own trades for that. So can't thank you enough. Thanks very much. Great stuff here today. We're going to see you on Friday, right?
Yes.
All right. Have a great rest of your week, folks. Thanks for stopping by. Smash up that like for Anne-Marie. We will see you Friday. Anne-Marie and I will see you on Friday. I will see you tomorrow. Take care, everybody.